Of the Foreign Relations and Finance Committees joins us from Capitol Hill. Senator, I want to run through a few different topics with you, and I know on this one at a classified briefing there's probably a limited amount you can say, but what's your level of confidence in the administration's policies and handling the situation with Iran right now?
Connell, I think it was important to respond, and I won't reveal anything that was said in the classified briefing, but it's obvious, I think, to all Americans that the Iranians are starting to step up their activities either directly or through surrogates. And we've seen these sabotage attacks on these cargo vessels. We've also seen a missile being shot into our compound in Iraq and Baghdad. And it's believed that, again, in those cases, these were surrogates of the Revolutionary Guard or Iran directly who are responsible. So what we're doing is we're increasing our presence in the region, not because we are eager for a war, but because we want to deter aggression and keep us from falling into a war.
Okay, fair enough. When I ask you of your level of confidence in the administration there, I'd like to ask you about your level of patience with another issue. You've always been a strong voice going back over the years on trade. What is your level of patience personally, or maybe farmers and others you're speaking to in Ohio, in terms of the president's policies on trade and tariffs with China, especially the last few weeks as things have been escalating?
Yeah. Well, in the last 4 days, we've had some good news for those of us who believe that we ought to have level playing field across the world, but that we ought not to resort to tariffs, rather have lower tariffs on both sides. One was the auto tariff decision, where the president agreed to postpone for 6 months at least a decision on whether to impose additional tariffs under what's called Section 232 on automobiles. You saw the market react favorably, and more importantly to me, it's important to Ohio because it would hurt our auto industry, in my view. Second, we saw the president say that with regard to the U.S.-Mexico agreement, this is the USMCA, to replace the NAFTA agreement, that we would not keep the steel and aluminum tariffs in place. That helps us to get to an agreement. It helps those two countries to ratify it. It helps us to get the votes here on Capitol Hill. That's positive because now I think we have a real path forward to pass that legislation, which will result in hundreds of thousands of new jobs in America, including, by the way, a lot more manufacturing jobs in my state of Ohio. So those were two positive things. On the other side, in terms of the tariffs, you're right, with regard to China, there seems to be some escalation of both the dialogue and also the tariffs potentially. The president already decided to increase from 10 to 15% on the second tranche, this $200 billion worth of Chinese exports to us. And we'll see how that turns out. I mean, my view on that is pretty simple. We've tried a lot of different things to get China to abide by the international rules. It hasn't worked. So tariffs may be the only tool we have right now to try to get them to the bargaining table and complete this agreement.
Interesting. We'll see how long it lasts. The last topic I want to talk to you about is your own bill that you've been working on, this bipartisan bill with Senator Cardin that the two of you have on retirement savings. So this is, I would think, an important one to many in our audience, Retirement Security and Savings Act. It's interesting because we hear all the time, yeah, you got to save more, 401ks and the rest of it, but I guess the studies show is people still are not saving enough for retirement. So what's the biggest thing this bill would do? It either change incentives or change that dynamic for people?
Connie, you're absolutely right. Among baby boomers, only 48% are saving anything in a private retirement savings. That's a shocking number. That's my generation. So part of what we do in this legislation is we help baby boomers and others who are needing to quickly get some more money into that nest egg to have a catch-up contribution. We also help with regard to small businesses because you're right, we've done a lot to expand 401ks, and some of my legislation with this same Senator Ben Cardin over the years has helped. But frankly, among small businesses, we still have a lot of people that don't have access to a retirement plan. So we help small businesses directly in a lot of ways, including having a tax credit, a substantial new tax credit to help small businesses offer a plan, because it is kind of a, an expense and administrative costs and liability.
So you want to raise the age, too, for the
and then
distributions to 75, which is, what's it, 70 now? But, I mean, people are working a lot longer, I guess, is the point, than they used to.
Yeah, and third is to help those people who are in retirement, as you say. And what we're finding is, with people living longer, this requirement that at age 70 and a half, you have to start taking your money out of your 401k or your IRA to start distributing it and pay taxes on it under retirement is crazy. If you're still working at age 70 and a half, you want to encourage that person to keep in this retirement savings so that when they do retire, say at 73 or 75, and are likely to live, by the way, until 90 now, that they have enough retirement savings, they have that nest egg. So we say, gosh, it's expensive to do this because you have to find the offsets, but we say, let's expand the age to 75, not 70 and a half, and then let's say, if you have less than $100,000 in your retirement account,
Right.
there should be no minimum required distribution at all.
Oh, okay.
I have a lot of constituents who, when they get to be 70, they talk to somebody, maybe an accountant, maybe someone at their bank that says, hey, by the way, you got to start taking your money out of your retirement.
Shouldn't have to do that.
They're shocked.
Okay, yeah,
Why?
that is an interesting angle, too. I will follow to see how it does in the Congress, but again, sounds like an important one for many viewers. So, Senator Portman, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
You bet, Connell. Always good to be on with you. Take care.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't know that.